Black Lives Matter is a movement we all heard about, but let's face it, many of us talked about it. And if I only tell you it's Black History Month right now, many of you might think, oh, is it? And that's exactly one part of the problem. So why are we always talking about it and not talking to the people who can teach us how to do it the right way? And I'm very proud to have a special guest here with us today. He's a staff sergeant at the British Armed Forces. He served in Afghanistan twice, he served in Iraq twice, and he served in Bosnia in the Kosovo conflict. So he knows how conflict feels like. Hello and welcome, Staff Sergeant Cosmas Cupid.
Hello, good evening, and thanks to have me. It's an honor to be on your podcast. And also, just want to say thank you for doing what you are doing and help raising the awareness, and which is needed today as we are seeing what's happening here in 2020, especially this summer of this year. So and I'm always there to, and I'm glad I have a platform such as what I have now, not just only being a serviceman in the British Army, but also to be an activist as well with the Black Lives Matter movement, to spread awareness and to also get rid of discrimination on all formats.
Yeah, excellent. So let's get straight into it. When we talk about Black Lives Matter, and with George Floyd, the movement got a huge outreach, so we had it all over the media. But let's face it, it became reasonably quiet. And when I look on your Insta stories, which are not only tremendously helpful, I don't see the same outreach suddenly happening with Black History Month. So where do you think are the main issues in society? Why do we always have these waves where they're suddenly all on your side, and 4 weeks later, people behave like nothing ever happened?
Yes, and that's really a good point. That's why I want people to understand this is not a moment, and a lot of people treating this as a trend, as a moment, and people think by just going and post a black square or getting like a placard or putting some kind of word in that, they feel that they are doing their bit by just 1 week or 2 weeks going with them, and they're having it as a moment. But I really want people to understand that this is a movement because it's been happening for far too long, and it's been happening way before my time. We as a people, we have been suffering since 1619, so that make it 401 years since Black people have been suffering. And we have to understand that it will take us to come together. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon. We need to understand this. We need to know it's not a trend where we can go something in fashion, out of fashion. And I know earlier on some of this year, George Floyd death had actually really awoken a lot of people to see that how can an institution such as the police force that are meant to protect themselves can also be the executioner and also the judge to take someone's life right before us, even though past buyers were saying, get off his neck, you are killing him. And he stood on George Floyd's neck for over 8 minutes. And I think what really sank home to a lot of people at that particular moment is that that man was helpless and had 3 police officers on top of him, and to see his life taken out of him just like that. And the manner of how the police was like enjoying what he was doing, hands in pockets, very cavalier and stuff like that. And that really resonated at the time. And when people fail to realize it's not just that that only time that something like that happened. What about those that haven't been caught on camera? And these are things that keep going on. And even here in the United Kingdom, we go out, we protest, and I led a lot of protests in London here, and I'm still trying to make sure that this awareness is still spread, and we still fighting racism and discrimination in all formats. The fact that when we are here in London, and we have the cohesiveness that we had earlier on in summer. And yes, we are losing the momentum mobilely going forward. And socially, I have not seen a couple of days ago on the 14th of October, which is 3 days ago, George Floyd would have celebrated 47th birthday, and no one had said his name. No one at all had posted a black square to say, about anything about George Floyd, because people not learning more about why we are doing this. They just think it's just a moment, and we need to stand up and realize this is more than a moment. And that's why we are saying we need to educate people more. At the same time, I do not want to intimidate, and I think the Black community should not try to intimidate the people we are trying to educate, because not everybody that shouts, because sometimes people might not even be aware of how privileged or racist or certain things that it's racist. So we got to make people aware that these things that might have happened 10, 15 years ago, which might have been acceptable, today it's not, because we are more wiser as a people, and we know that these things are not tolerated in this day and age. And for us to move forward as a people, we got to be open-minded towards what we are trying to achieve, because if we are not open-minded, there will be lack of progress, and without progress there will be little changes, and we need to come together and fight this cause in terms of this movement, not a moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember I think it was one of your Facebook posts where you said, when you wear a uniform as a staff sergeant, people want to take photos with you and shake your hands. And when they meet you in your civil clothes, they suddenly consider you as a thug on the streets and treat you completely differently. Why do you think that even in this day and age, I mean, it is the year 2020. Why do people, in your opinion, why do people still act like that?
You see, that's because I think when you look at the way society and the way that people look at Black people, they automatically think that, you know what I mean, black people are second-class citizens. And when they do see a Black person in whether they are in uniform, whether it's a nurse, whether in the NHS or myself in the army, going back to what you said just then, the fact that when we do major parades and stuff like that at Whitehall, or I do wherever we do parade, and people see me in my full ceremonial uniform with all my medals and honors and badges that I have earned, people and they take pictures, and it's quite sad, because a lot of people, before I just from Whitehall to Charing Cross, as you're aware of the distance, it takes me like over an hour to get out, because everybody want to take a picture and telling me thank you for your service, shaking my hand and said, oh, you are brave, and they seen all the medals and honors I have on my chest, and they know that and lots of them said to me, oh, you must be important, you must be this, and they want to take pictures. And I guarantee you, I am in a tracksuit or in normal civilian clothing, a lot of people will pass me straight and think that I'm a thug. I think that I'm nobody. I think that, you know what I mean, oh, I'm probably an immigrant or probably whatever. They stereotype me just by the look of me being in a tracksuit. But when I'm in a uniform, everybody want to look at me as a hero and look at me as, you know what I mean, somebody in society, and that is really sad. And I think the fact that this day and age, why is people still actually having that concept of Black people being second class, or they cannot do certain things, or they cannot achieve certain things? That is really sad for people to have that concept of understanding, and we need to get out of that way of thinking and knowing that before you judge anyone, you got to learn of that person, because when you see people, you do not know what job they do, what they're going through. Even though I was a cleaner for the streets and help cleaning, I'm contributing towards society. I'm doing something, so I'm still making that chain of, you know what I mean, reaction work, because without the cleaners, we won't have a clean and more developed and stable country. So we all need to understand the importance of people and whatever job they are doing, regardless if it is me going out there being a soldier and risking your life, or getting up early and clean the streets, or whatever the case may be. Get to know me before you judge me, and don't judge me because of my skin color. We need to get away from that stereotype kind of thinking.
Absolutely. So when people are now listening to this podcast, to wrap this interview up, and people might now think, you are absolutely right, and I should get involved. What are ways to get involved with the movement Black Lives Matter? How, in your opinion, can they start to help?
You know, because in start to help, I think what we need to do as a people, because we know better, and I think because when we when we chose, because I think ignorant is a choice. We got to educate ourselves. We got to along the way when we are educating ourselves, we can also educate people. Because for me, with this Black Lives Matter movement, because of what happened with George Floyd, I had to take a stand. Because you know what? When I look at it and I see the fact that I went to Afghanistan and Iraq, I've been shot, I've been blown up, and I am still here. I'm still here standing. I'm here for a reason, and to think the fact that I've been to those countries, and each time when I go to Afghanistan, I spend 7 months at one single time. So I spend just over half a year in Afghanistan, and every single day when we go on patrol, whether it's mobile patrol or foot patrol, regardless to what, I got to be praying every single day that I make it alive to come back home. You understand? Because these people are trying to kill me, and I'm there fighting for a better tomorrow to keep and safeguard citizens, not only of the United Kingdom, but globally. I am doing that job. You understand? And it does break my heart to come back to a country, to be out of my uniform and to get looked at differently, knowing I fought for a better tomorrow where my life could have been the ultimate sacrifice, and that we are not learning, we are not moving, because I'm not the only one. You get soldiers before me that have given their lives and stuff like that to make a better tomorrow that looks like me. So it's really sad and breaks my heart to see that these things happen and people are we're not educating ourselves. And what we need to do as a people to educate ourselves, and what we can do in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement going forward, is take these uncomfortable conversations to our loved ones. And I do not like when people say, oh yeah, this is from that generation. My grandmother is from that generation, my grandfather, but they're never too old to learn and understand.
Yeah.
You never so we got to get out of that way of thinking and thinking, yes, because that person is old, we got to accept that. No. What we got to do is let them understand. You know what I mean? It's not my fault. I am black. It's not my fault at all. I am who I am, but at the same time, I'm a person. I am a citizen of this globe. We are all tenants of this globe, of this earth. We are passing through. One day we will leave this earth, but we got to make sure when we do leave it, that when we pass on that baton to the next generation, we hand over that baton where human rights and everything is concerned in a much better place than we have it today. Because it's unfair that we have to get another generation fighting for what we are fighting for today. It's unfair, and we need to go educate each other. Take that uncomfortable conversation to dinner tables, take it in our church, take it in our schools, take it in our any walk of life, in our workplace. If we see anything, we got to call it out. But at the same time, when I say call out racism, I do not want us to be too harsh on being like, oh, you are racist and go and no, you can pull people aside and say, look, I am not happy with that. We need to understand. We could talk to people one-on-one. We do not always have to expose people to say, oh, look at what this person done, look at what this person say, jump on all this as a trend. We need to understand, because sometimes when you do that, you just close people down and they don't want to hear. But you pull people aside and say, you understand, I do not like the way you spoke to me about my skin color, or how you make me feel bad. The fact is, you might not necessarily mean it that way, but it's how I felt coming away from that. And that's why it's important. You need to because sometimes other people who say stuff or do stuff might not even be aware, because they are that comfortable and they do think that it's okay, but it's not okay, because I walk away from that feeling belittled, feeling dehumanized, because I'm feeling bad because I am black, and you say that because I'm black, and all this other stuff. And another thing, what we can do as well, like look at other like Black Lives Matter posts and repost something and rather that you don't have to do it every week, but do it once a week. Just post something, learn about black culture, learn about black history, because I came to England and I'm in the army, right? And I learned so much about the United Kingdom, about London, and people think that I born here because I know so much. And I just would like to think that I would like for us to learn about each other, regardless if it might be a tasteful taste in our mouth. For us to be better people and move forward, we got to learn of other culture, learn of other people, regardless to what, because I do not believe in it's against black against white, it's wrong against right. And we are one race, the human race, because I met many of people who are decent that are white people, and many of white people that have given their life for this cause as in Black Lives Matter, and give up a lot. So when I hear people are saying, oh, white people, white people are racist, or the UK is racist, the UK system is racist. Not the UK. There are some things in the UK, like the institutional disparities that we are facing as a people. It is there to suppress us, and repress us for so long. So that's why when I say the UK system, it's racist, because I know a lot of people in the UK are not racist. Look, for instance, one of the most, for me, best country I served, and I've living it for quite a long time. A lot of people are surprised because of the Hitler days that Germany. I loved Germany, lived Germany for 5 years, and I absolutely love the way of life in Germany. I never ever at one point, I'm not saying that it never happened to anybody that I know of the same color, look like me, but I never experienced racism in Germany while I was there for 5 years. And I always say that was what I always, when I can go back to Germany and visit Germany, because I enjoy living there. And that's where we got to look. We got to each country. We got to look at how we can better ourselves so other countries could want to be like that countries, and making people want to come to that country and live and resign and visit again, just as Germany did me. And that's why I say I would always go back to Germany when I can, because it made me feel welcome like a person. And I'm not saying Germany is not racist, but I'm saying I never experienced it personally.
Mm-hmm. These are very powerful words. Thank you very much for the compliments on my home country. I am very proud to have you as a friend, and what you just gave us here is a very powerful introduction lesson for all of us, what we can learn, what we should do, and that it's the job of all of us. So at the end of this interview, there's only one thing for me left to say. Cupid, thank you very much for your time.
No problem at all. And one thing I want to say as well, because I try my best. That's why I said when I go to also I'm happy I am like, I look at myself and I see myself as the bridge, because the fact that I'm black, the fact that I'm a soldier, because I am a documentary is getting done on me and one of my friend. It should be out next month. They came to my home this week on Tuesday and done some video shooting and stuff like about 7 hours of that, and they were following me on the protest back in summer and still do at the moment.
Awesome.
And I'm happy to say that I am 1, black, I'm 2, a soldier, and 3rd, I'm gay. And also I'm a proud person. And the fact that when I go on protest, I said to a lot of my black brothers and sisters that are out there chanting and saying, you know what, your silence is violence, and being silent, you are complicit, and the UK is not innocent. It's all good and well that a lot of my black straight brothers and sisters are using those sort of word of effect. But however, on one hand, the black community, the straight one, the heterosexual community are saying, you know, oh, the UK is not innocent and all these sort of stuff. But on the other hand, when there is a trans person or a gay or a bisexual person that are there getting discriminated against, and this is happening sometimes from within the black community, because what is the difference? I say to my brothers and sisters when I have protests, and I say it very openly, tell me the difference where white people are teaching their kids to be fearful of black kids or black people because of what the society paint them out to be at this. Where's the difference between that and black people are saying, oh, batty boy or chichi man or gay people must die on all these sort of stuff? Where is the difference? We got to open our mind, and we got to understand that, you know what I mean, if we seek an equality do not mean 75%. It means equality means equality. You understand? So if we're going to stamp out equality, we got to stamp it out totally for us to move forward. We got to be open-minded. We got to be constructive. We got to be able to understand and sit down sometimes with the enemies, if we want to call them that, and have a dialogue. And if you want to have a dialogue, monologue, whatever you want to do, that's only way we could move forward as a people. And that's why every single day I post something about Black history, about what Black people before me have done, even what I am doing, and in terms of like spread the awareness. That's why I created a new page called Cosmo Speaks, and that is there to let people know I'm also hopefully want to look at myself as a motivational speaker. I know I spoke to a lot of people, thousands of people over the summer. I am very confident because I speak with a lot of soldiers, officers, and people below me and above me, and I know I can do this in the civilian streets, and I just want to motivate people. And along the way, while I'm educating people, I am being educated myself, and I need us all in this. We need to be in this together because this is not a moment. We need to stop treating it like that. It's a movement because Black life do matters. And that is what we need to understand. And we are not seeking revenge. We are just seeking equality on all format. That is what I believe.